What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be replacing the OEM door handle in this 2016 STI with the new Billetworkz door pull straps. Our new door pull straps are going to work for the 08 to 21 WRX and STIs, the 22 and up VBs, and 13 to current BRZs, along with other Subaru models within that 08 to current time frame as well. Reason why you might want to replace your door handle is for a more track-inspired look, or if you just want something to match your interior a little bit better. That being said, let's get into it. One of the first things that you're going to do in this process is remove your door card. That process will vary depending on your vehicle. Here in this 16 STI, I have a screw in this door pocket here and one right behind the handle. Some might have to pull off the switch panel here to access a screw. So if you aren't too sure, just check a manual, see if you can find the info on your door card specifically, or check out a YouTube video for your current generation. So we're going to go ahead and get those covers popped off, get those screws out, and then pop the door card off, and we'll go from there. So once you get the screws out of the way, you're going to want to pull off the door card. And one way I highly recommend is just starting off with a trim tool, finding a gap. I already got this one a little started. Get it gapped up so you can get your fingers behind it. And once your fingers are behind it, just give it a quick yank. And then once all the clips are popped out, it simply just slides up and down. Once you have the door card off, you're going to see these two cables right here. The top one's for your lock and the bottom one is for your door handle itself. We're going to go ahead and pop those off and remove those. The next step is going to be removing these two Phillips head screws that you see here. Once you get those screws out of the way, there's going to be a shim piece that we are going to hang on to. Then once you have all that out, the door handle assembly can come out just like that.
And we are going to be doing both first gen and second gen. If you have a second gen, you can go ahead and hit the timestamp down below to skip to that.
Now that we have the door handle assembly over here on the bench, I'm going to go ahead and show you how we're going to install this Alcantara piece that is actually going to be replacing where the door handle sits. In order to do that, you are going to need a punch and a hammer. And the reason for that is there is a pin that we need to punch through. So this is going to be considered the top and this is the bottom. And we're going to be hitting the pin through the bottom and out the top. Now, once that pin's out, the next step is going to be actually removing the door handle itself. And to do that, you're just going to grab it, pull, and now be careful, there is a loaded spring in here, so just watch yourself. Now, a couple things to note, there is a hole, and that is what the pin is going to go through. So whenever you put this piece into the door handle assembly, make sure that you are lining up that hole and the pin together so this can stay in place. So you'll notice that this Alcantara piece has edges that line up with the door handle assembly. So we're going to go ahead and slip that in. I've noticed that if you hold the lock in this position, it helps this piece slide in a little bit easier, like so. If you go ahead and look at the pin, you might see that there are kind of ridges on it. Now that is going to be in the top, and that is what is going to keep the pin from slipping the whole way through. But once it goes through, just kind of start it with your finger, and you might be able to get it flush with your finger, but I take the hammer and I just give it a couple love taps to make sure she's fully flush in there. So I know we just saw the process for the 08 to 21s. I also want to show you guys the process for the 22 up WRXs and BRZs. The difference is going to be that this is all clipped in. There's no pin that we're going to have to worry about punching through. The first step is going to be popping off. There's a little faceplate here, and to do that, there are clips all around. So I take a small flathead screwdriver, and we're just going to go ahead and work our way around and pop those loose so we can get that face panel off. On the back, not sure if you can see this or not, there is going to be a spring sitting in a kind of a spring retention clip that's right in here. What we're going to advise to do is take a small flathead screwdriver and we're going to push the spring out of the way. The next step is we got to remove this door handle. It sits on a kind of peg on the bottom here. So we're actually gonna have to pry on the bottom here to get some separation. What I have found though, it is actually easier to first get the lock part out. So to take out the lock, you're gonna flip it over and just push on the back of it and then pry up at the same time. You'll do the top, then you'll do the bottom. Should just pop right on out for you. Now that we cleared up a little extra space, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a bigger screwdriver and pry on the bottom and pop off the door handle from that peg. So now that it is separated off the peg, you can see here, you're just gonna pull it on out. So now they have the door assembly, we can go ahead and start putting it back together. Go ahead and start with the lock piece I took out first. We're gonna go ahead and take our Alcantara wrapped piece here. You'll see there's two notches on it. You have one on this side, then you're gonna have a deeper notch on the one side. The deeper notch is gonna be going on the peg where the door handle was, right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Alcantara piece with the deeper slit, line it up, and there's going to be clipping into place. So get it lined up, take 2 fingers and just push it on in. And then that is ready to go. Once you have that Alcantara piece in, you're good to snap your faceplate back on. So now that we have the faceplate back on, we have the Alcantara piece in and the lock assembly back in too as well, we can go ahead and put this back in the door card. So the first step in assembling your door pull strap is taking a plate, putting it on the side that's going to be facing the interior, taking one of the bolts, sliding it through, and making sure it goes through the holes in the Alcantara as well. Once we get the bolt through, we're going to take the other plate, slide that on down like that. Then once you have that other plate on top, we're going to go ahead and take our nut and just go ahead and thread that on to that bolt. So when it comes to putting on the door pull strap here, make sure we're putting it on the actual door handle cable, which has the black shroud on it. So whenever you go to put this on, keep in mind you want the Allen key facing towards the interior of the car or the back of the door card itself. When we go to put this on, what we're going to do is we're going to take the door cable itself, slip it in between the Alcantara and the metal shim here. Once it's in between, we're going to take our other bolt, slide that through. Then we're going to go ahead and take our nut and thread that on. Once everything's all finger tight, I just like to pull it, make sure the ball is sitting right against that, and we can go ahead and snug everything down. The Allen key that you're going to need is a 1/16 size, and then for the nut, it's going to be a 1/4 inch. We're just going to go ahead and tighten those up. So now that we have the door pull strap installed, we can go ahead and move on with the door handle assembly back into the door card itself. To install the door handle assembly, we're just going to reverse what we did earlier. Bring that back. Go ahead and reinstall the lock cable. Clip that in. Now we're going to go ahead and thread the door pull strap through the door handle assembly. You have 2 openings here, this big opening and this small opening. We're going to take it and we're going to put it through the small opening. And then you're going to want to reach in from the other side, pull it through. Once it gets through, we're going to go ahead and re-clip the cable back in. Then just give it a couple quick pulls. Make sure these nuts aren't catching on this plastic piece. Once you have your door pull strap through, is just to reinstall your door card, and that's going to be in the reverse order from earlier. Slide it into the window track. Then once it's in the window track, we're just going to snap the clips back in around. Just giving it a little tap. And then we can go ahead and reinstall the 2 screws that are in these pockets here, and then we'll be done. So that does it for the door pull strap install on the 16 STI. And like always, if you have any questions or anything, make sure you leave them down in the comments below. Make sure to check out Billetworkz.com to see other color variants we have for the door pull straps available, along with any other accessories they have for your car that you may be interested in. Thanks. See you next time.